Hey guys, today's January 13th. That means we are in Ephesians chapter 3, verses 1 through 21. You can really cut this kind of chapter right in half. The first half is really Paul just telling us the perfect definition of what the gospel is. The gospel is simply something that a believer has that is in and of themselves true faith. He tells us that the New Testament believers are equal to the Old Testament believers. There's no need for the works of the past, maybe like we were reading in the book of Galatians a couple of days ago, that they were adding to the gospel. They were adding faith. They were adding works to faith and religious rites. And here we get the simple definition of saying, no, we do not need that. Gospel is in of itself. It is faith. And because of that, verse 12, we have boldness and access and confidence through our faith to Christ. That word boldness is really huge for us at First Baptist. We did a long sermon series on being bold in our faith, on taking the step, on just kind of asking God what to do for us and how to show us to live and how to be a better church. And so this verse in 12, not only are we bold in our faith, but because of this boldness, we have access and we have confidence through faith. It's because we have Jesus Christ living inside of us through the Holy Spirit that we can be bold in our faith, that we can have access to Christ. We can have this idea of having confidence in who we are. We no longer need what the Old Testament believers need. We don't need priests mediating between us. We don't need temple worship. We don't need sacrifices. We don't need to go to priests or to other people. We simply need to look inside ourselves and to see Christ lives inside of every true believer. And that is the gospel in and of itself. And verse 14, we see kind of this second part of this where Paul reminds us of what we should do every day. He's simply praying for the church of Ephesus. Praying that they would understand what he is saying, that they would understand and their eyes would be open to see the new things that God and the Holy Spirit are trying to teach him. But in the last two verses, 20 and 21, these verses probably mean the most for me and probably many of you at First Baptist. Now to him who is able to do far more abundantly and beyond than all that we ask or think. This was the verse that we used during our Beyond campaign, where really it seemed like we couldn't, but we came out of debt not because we did it, it's because God did it. God stretched our faith and did something that was spectacular. And it's because of the gospel that we serve and we know a God that can do anything far more abundantly, above and beyond anything that we would ever think. And when we truly have faith in that God, we can do anything through the gospel of Christ. Remember, God didn't come to give us good lives. He didn't come to make us better people. He came to enhance his kingdom. And so that when we have boldness and when we have faith and we believe that a God can do anything, he will expand his kingdom and he will use us for those who are of the gospel of his faith. Guys, I'm so glad we're doing this together. It's so great to walk through some of these powerful books and explanations of what the gospel is. We will see you tomorrow. God bless.